You and all your pretty little friends, up in the hills where the party never ends. Your schemes and your dreams when you're whole and you're broken. I'm telling all about it in my words unspoken.
Welcome to Words Unspoken, the Hills podcast.
We are two Southern sisters rewatching The Hills and chatting about it for your entertainment.
Jem.
Susan.
We have a very special episode tonight because we are going to talk about the terrific news of The Hills' new beginnings.
Hey, y'all!
Oh my gosh, Jem, The Hills are coming back!
Is this real life or are we just dreaming?
So last night at the MTV Music Video Award, they announced that The Hills were coming back, but it would be called The Hills' New Beginnings. MTV says that this show will reunite some of the original cast members alongside their children and friends and follow their personal and professional lives while living in Los Angeles.
Heidi Montag, Spencer Pratt, Audrina Patridge, Justin Bobby, Frankie Delgado, and Stephanie Pratt. And Susan, I just saw on Twitter that Brody Jenner and Whitney Port are actually in talks to be a part of it as well. So that is breaking news as I drink my iced coffee and eat my chocolate donut at 9 p.m. at night because I'm so excited.
I am drinking sangria, Jem, to celebrate this glorious news.
At least you're eating a time of day appropriate bucket of liquid, because my iced coffee is going to keep me up all night, and I didn't need that because this news is already so exciting.
Jem, I had potato chips for dinner, so let's just move right along and not talk anymore about our food. Jem, let's talk about all the people who are going to be on the show first. So what do you think about all the people who have announced so far that they will be on the show?
Gunnar Pratt is going to be my favorite character on the new Hills show. I don't know a lot about Gunnar, and I don't know his likes, his dislikes, his personality. And so he's going to really have to bring his A game to make me like him, make himself an interesting character, like spit up in all the right ways, and cry in all the right spots, mascara tears if needed. But, the pressure's really on Gunnar to do it right.
I think he's going to be the true star of the show, Jem. He and Spencer showed up on the red carpet last night wearing matching outfits.
Oh, that's so cute. With all of the hatred that we have spewed towards the Pratt family, Spencer has grown on me so much thanks to the whole Snapchat hummingbird thing. I just freaking love him, and I think he's a great dad. Susan is sipping her sangria, giving me side-eye, and she's basically like Kermit saying, well, that's none of my business. But
that's exactly what I was doing, Jem. You know me so well. I was being that meme. I am excited to see him. He's super cute, and I am anticipating a lot of drama from the Pratt family, though, to be honest, because I think that's what their role is on these reality shows, so that's what I'm anticipating from them.
It'll just be interesting to see how Steph Pratt mixes back in, because remember, she's kind of like a superstar over in the UK with all of her various reality show gigs over there, and she lives there. She's adopted the whole Madonna, Lindsay Lohan accent that she wasn't born with, so I don't know what her whole storyline is going to be and if she's going to move back or what.
Jem, do we know what the status is of Spencer and Stephanie's relationship?
Well, I think that it's getting better because I noticed them tweeting at each other a while back when I was faithfully running our social media accounts while not cranking out any new episodes. But it does seem like they're getting better. They don't literally hate each other right now. So,
well, Jem, I'm sure you won't be shocked to find out that the people I am most excited about seeing on this revival is number 1, Justin Bobby.
Yes!
And number 2, Audrina.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know. And Audrina's had such a rough freaking time the past couple of years. We can get into that a little bit down the road when we see how the show is going to treat it. She was in a domestic violence situation at one point, and that's something that actually we talk about a lot on the show. So I'll be interested to see how they address it, but I'm so happy that she has kind of her own thing besides her Pray Swim fashion line, and she can really, maybe tell her story. And no pressure, Audrina. You don't have to be a role model. model for other women in your situation. Your story's your story if you want to tell it. But that's who I'm really, really, really pumped to see. And I'm so happy for her that she's a part of this.
And I'm just really excited Justin will be back because, as you know, he's our best friend. So we're super excited to see him back on the small screen.
Susan, I texted Justin Bobby this morning. I sent him a note and told him that we were proud of him and told him congrats, and even added a little confetti action to the iMessage. So I'm sure he really appreciated that. But for those of you who are just tuning in and haven't been faithful listeners of Words Unspoken Hills podcast, you can pop back in our feed and find a great interview we did with Justin Bobby when he was on the road doing music. It's actually one of our favorite episodes, so go ahead and check it out.
And Jem, I'm also excited to see Frankie back.
Yeah, Frankie, the party boy. I wonder if do you think he's still like promoting parties and doing all that?
I don't know. I think I remember he got married and had a baby, though. I'm almost positive. I know he definitely got married, and I think he recently might have had a baby, but that might be wrong. Listeners, tweet at me if I'm wrong and let us know.
Susan, today I saw a tweet that said, now that the Hills is coming back, this means that Ledoux has to reopen.
Oh, if only the dream, the distant dream.
That would be the ultimate.
Okay, Jem, so now we've talked about all the cast members who are coming back, and we've also said maybe there's 2 others coming back, but we'll find that out later. So let's talk about the cast members who aren't coming back. Of course, the biggest one is Lauren Conrad. But if anyone has been keeping up with her over the years, you won't be shocked to find out that she's not coming back. She's pretty much always said she would never come back to a show. And honestly, Jem, she has so much going on, she probably wouldn't even be able to fit it in. Anyway, she's married, she has a baby, she runs like 2 or 3 businesses. She's super busy, so I'm not surprised she wouldn't come back. Plus, she's such an adult now, I feel like it would not be good for her brand to go back on a reality show. She's like the boss lady where she is. She doesn't really need the Hills New Beginnings. What do you think?
I saw an amazing tweet today. It's from Paige Michael Chucks. It said, Elsie is at home with her hot white king and cute baby, sipping her white wine, minding her own business, and being at peace, knowing she doesn't need a check and no need to be on the Hills reboot.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, she really doesn't need it, and almost everyone else who's coming back probably does. So,
you know what? They'll need to do their thing. No shame in this game. I think the reboot's going to be so great for people of our generation, and maybe even the kids will discover how wonderful it is and watch the original shows.
Yay, I hope so. Kristen is also not coming back, and I think that also has a lot to do with the fact that she does have her own reality show right now.
Oh yeah, Kristen's good. My hope is that she kind of shows up maybe, very briefly in one of the episodes. I think that's a strong possibility.
And that would not surprise me if she's like a special guest appearance or something. She just probably does not have time. And she lives in Nashville, isn't that right? She doesn't even live in Los Angeles, so it would be super hard for her to film.
Susan, would you like to hear what Stephanie Pratt had to say today about this?
I would, Jem.
It's like we're all growing up. It's weird.
Was that from the promo that they showed?
Yes.
Amazing.
Wise words. You haven't changed, my girl.
Also not coming back is Lo and, unfortunately, Whitney Port.
Yeah, I can't imagine life without Lo because she really brings that wit and kind of that different personality, so I'm really bummed out about that. Apparently Whitney is in talks to be on the show, but this could just be one of those stupid, Hollywood lies that you run across so often.
Yeah, I would really love to see her on the show. I would be really sad if she wasn't because, as you know, most of my favorites are like Lauren, Whitney, I do love Lo, and Audrina. So really Audrina is the only one that I'm like super excited about being back other than like the boys. But as far as the main cast goes, I never expected Lauren, so I'm not disappointed or anything because I never thought she would come back, but I was kind of sad. But I think Lo has been pretty vocal in her opposition to ever doing this again. She has some pretty harsh words to say for her time on the Hills. I don't blame her for not coming back. It seems like it might have scarred her a little bit, so I understand that. Now, Jem, what we know from MTV's announcement is that there are going to be new people on this show. We've heard rumors that they're asking certain bloggers to be part of the show, and in what capacity, I don't know. show. But who do you think these new people are? Do you think they'll be just like local celebrities or just like C-list people? Like, what do you think? Who do you think the new people are going to be? Just random people they cast?
It'll probably be Jem and Susan from Words Unspoken Hills podcast. I just had my phone on silent, so I've probably missed the calls, but I expect them to send me, one of those like certified letters you have to sign for, and I'll go ahead and decline because I'm much too busy and important.
Well, also, we're anonymous. We could never show our faces on TV, but we could do some kind of like Zorro mask or something like that, and maybe we would agree to be on like one episode because we're way too busy. We live in the South. We don't have time to be in LA all the time. I'm sure they'll be beating down our doors, but we're just going to have to decline. But maybe we'll do one episode if they really like pay us a couple $1 million for each episode.
Wait, do we need to go into hiding? Are they going to start like harassing us and having fans outside our windows, like trying to get us to jump on board and stuff? Because, girl, I don't have time for this.
I just don't have time for that. So MTV, probably you shouldn't even bother to call us because we are really way too busy for that.
MTV, Viacom, whatever you call yourselves these days, iHeartRadio, my attorneys are ready and standing by to just give you a big fat N-O. No, we will continue to podcast, which is what we were born to do.
So, Jem, what are your hopes for the new series? What do you hope to get out of it? What do you hope it is?
I mean, I think one of my biggest hopes has already come true in the fact that there's so many original cast members on the show, because in my mind, if this ever happened, it was going to be maybe, like about Heidi and Spencer being at home with the baby. Excited because there's so many originals on there. It'll be really special to catch up on them and see what their styles are now and where they live and the work that they've had done and, all those important things that you want to know about your favorite reality stars. What about you? What are you most excited about?
I'm just most excited about seeing how they portray all of them all these years later. I have a feeling they might go a little nostalgic. I'm just interested to see the format of the show, too, more than anything, because it's a lot different when you're in your 20s and you can lunch outside all day and they can show you at work. But when you're an adult and you have families, I'm curious to know how they're going to bring them together. Like, are their stories all going to be separate? Like, are we going to have Audrina and Justin Bobby in a room? I mean, hello, beautiful. But I don't understand how they'll do this since they're adults now. They're going to have to, is it going to be them separated out and each of their stories individually? Or how are they going to bring them together in a natural way? So I'm just so interested to see what they're going to do. I expect, big things out of them. Jem, have you seen anything saying if Adam DeVello is going to be part of this?
No, the last time I saw anything about him was on that wonderful Music City show that we reviewed a while back on an episode.
Which has just been renewed for season 2, Jem, just the other day.
Congrats to our friends at Music City. We love you all. They're such charming, wonderful people, and we had some great chats with them while the show was on, so we're really happy for them. It's very well deserved.
But since he is doing that show, I wonder if that means he won't be part of the Hills, because if not, my hopes will not be as high for the show if he's not involved, to be honest.
You know what, Susan? I have a feeling that if he's alive and he is breathing and his brain is operating, he's going to have a part of this, even if it just means a little check in his mailbox once a month. Come on.
I hope so. Speaking on that, what are your fears for this show?
My fears for the show is that it's going to be so horribly contrived that we won't even be able to handle it. Like what you mentioned earlier about throwing Justin, Bobby, and Audrina in a room. Yes, that's the ultimate goal, but I don't want it to be so awkward to where they can't even look at each other or talk or don't have anything special to say. I need it to be done right. I need, that little sheen of awkwardness that we grew to love with the show. And I need, a little dust up here and there, a little bit of what you did and all that fun stuff. So my fear is that it just won't be, script-wise, because we all know it's a script. Script-wise, it won't be like the olden days because we haven't seen what they've got. I mean, that 10-year reunion show wasn't in that sort of format. So they have really big shoes to fill from what I feel like is just the most iconic reality show of our time.
And the thing about the original Hills was it was one of the first ones. There wasn't a million reality shows at that time. And so it was very unique. And I think it was more natural, especially when you go back to the Laguna Beach days, it was very natural. Reality shows from what I've seen now are just not. So I'm really hoping they can slip back into the old ways, because you're right, if it's really contrived where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid, it's going to be hard to watch, even with all of our favorites. So I really hope they still have that same original Hills magic. That's what I want to see.
Oh my gosh, Susan, you know what else is fun that I didn't really think about until now is I wonder if they'll become kind of like fashion forward icons again like they used to be. I mean, remember they always had like the best outfits and we would emulate what they had. And I'm just wondering if they'll really be rolling out the fashions or if they'll be too busy kind of being like, this is my new line of, scarves and I'm wearing this. Like, I really want it to be like, oh, wow, that outfit Audrina's wearing, I have to have it. I've never seen it before. That would be fun, too.
I think we'll get a lot of stuff about all their fashion lines and their businesses that they're doing. Justin Bobby will probably be promoting his music. I'm sure that's written in their contract somewhere, so I'm sure we'll get a lot of that, which I don't mind as long as it's done in a classy way. I know a lot of people are upset with Lauren's, the 10-year special, because she talked so much about her Kohl's fashion line, but I actually enjoyed that, so I don't mind a little self-promotion. I am a small business owner myself, of course, so that's probably why, but I just want it to be more natural, but I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to be awesome. I have high hopes for it. They'll have to do a lot to let me down, Jem.
Same. Our threshold of being impressed is going to be real low because this is exciting. And we'll continue to release episodes about the OG show until we get into 2019 and then kind of figure out how we're going to handle it then.
Yeah, we'll go from there and we'll try to be better about getting these episodes out. We apologize for another long sabbatical, but we're here now. We actually do have one episode in the can that we'll be releasing at some point in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Now, Jem, I know that you have been super busy on Twitter for the last couple of days, so why don't you share some tweets with us that you saw that you really liked?
Susan, before I get into that, I want to remind everyone where they can find us on all the socials. We are at The Hills Podcast on Twitter. We're super active on there, so go ahead and follow us and throw a little alert on there so that you'll know every time we're up to something. And then on Instagram, we're Words Unspoken Podcast. And then you can even find our super active Facebook page at Words Unspoken Hills Podcast. So first tweet that I love seeing today was Nostalgia on Film saying, there will never be a white reality TV show as iconic as Laguna Beach and the Hills. Lauren Conrad built an empire. She was that girl. And then Heat World said, thank you, Hills God.
I love that.
And I love this one. One tweeter said, they say Kris Jenner works hard, but Spencer works harder. And then Brunch and Butts, hey, what a handle. Well done.
Amazing.
MTV, The Hills is coming back. Me, The Hills isn't The Hills without LC. And Hayu Australia, who we've talked about before, they've streamed original Hills episodes in Australia through their service. They tweeted today, if you didn't already know, homeboy wore combat boots to the beach. And then, of course, The Hills tweeted, the rest was still unwritten, ... until now.
Yay!
And then, yay! Woohoo! And E-News tweeted, we didn't LC that one coming.
Do better.
Hayes Brown said, Vinny and Polly D are interviewing the cast of The Hills on the VMA red carpet, and I have no idea what year it is.
I know, right? We're just like going back in time. We thought the 10-year reunion special was a great thing. This is completely different. I mean, obviously Elsie's not involved, and that is super sad, but like I said, I don't think anyone expected her to be. But I love all the things you've been tweeting, and definitely follow us and tweet at us. Tell us what you're most excited about the new season starting next year.
Winners of the week.
Jem, let's be honest. The winner of the week is America.
It is America. It's us. It's
in the world. And everyone who's ever loved the Hills, because we're getting the Hills back. Yay!
Yeah, finally.
We're so excited. We're only going to do the winner of the week this week because we just wanted to celebrate the fact that no matter what happens in the show, the fact that they're giving that a second chance is so amazing. I love that all of my favorites from that era are getting rebooted. I just saw something right before we started recording that Veronica Mars might be coming back. This is a great time to be alive, Jem, except for one thing, but we don't want to talk about that.
This world is a gosh darn dumpster fire, and we need to be given this content because this is what we need and what we deserve.
Give us our Hills. Give us our Veronica Mars.
Give us our Justin Bobby and our Audrina in the same room at the same time. Ah! So don't forget, we have a great, fresh, brand new episode that we recorded live in studio with the one and only Seth Thomas of the Defiant Thomas Brothers in Chicago. So that's coming up really shortly, and then we'll have new ones rolling out soon. So
don't forget to follow us on all the social medias. Send us an email if you want to chime in and tell us how you feel about The Hills New Beginnings. And we'll talk to you soon.
bye, y'all!
You and all your pretty little friends up in the hills where the party never ends. Your schemes and your dreams when you're whole and you're broken. I'm telling all about it in my words unspoken.
That's the sound of an iced coffee, everybody.
Iced coffee at 9 p.m. I'm so smart.